Note to self, if grandma wouldn't recognize it, you probably shouldn't eat it.
What's good? So, hello. Today is day 10 of the 30 Days of Health series. Today's intention is I am nutritious. There's no getting around it. The body wants what grows where you are. The common diet among all the blue zones, no processed foods, whole foods, plant-based mostly. They eat a little meat, some of them, some don't. So veggies, fruits, the things that grow, a good way to think about it when you're looking at a plate of food, just think, is this food alive or is this food dead? You can tell when you look at food. Some food is there's just life in it, and that's the food that will give us life and nurture us and give us the nutrients that we need to be the healthy creatures that we want to be. You are what you eat. Grandma, you were right. And I think one of the biggest prohibitors of us eating locally, plucking things off the trees, growing things for ourselves and eating in that nutritious way is convenience. Go into a convenience store. You're not going to find many healthy choices there, but it is convenient. But when you eliminate those foods from your diet, you start to appreciate how rich and delicious a simple banana is. So, to see what the Nicoyans here thrive off of, we're headed into town to the market where all of the goods are exchanged. Speaking of which, I remember the reason I moved to Portland was because my brother Eben took us to the farmer's market there. And I remember going to the farmer's market and I was just like, I just felt, I don't know how to explain it, but you just feel like alive. And you're just like, what is this? This is amazing. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I ended up moving where I currently live. And it's just fun. It's alive. It's good stuff. So we're gonna go dive into some fresh produce and see what we got in store. Cheers. Well, this is where I was told the exchange of food was gonna go down. You can tell it's kind of set up for that. But I don't know, maybe I'm a little early or something. But no worries, because there are plenty of other ways we can go find what the locals eat. We'll just go eat something right now. So, what are people in the blue zone eating? Well, here's someone right now. Let's ask them.
Hey buddy, what's good? What you eating? Looks like you're just living off the land, huh?
I think that's a monkey. I'm not quite sure. I think that's a howler monkey. They sound like gorillas. People that live in Nicoya, at least, beans, rice, veggies. That's what they eat. Pretty simple. I'll tell you, it's a heck of a lot easier to eat healthy, nutritious food when that's just what's around. Well, as it turns out, there was a market going on, but apparently one of the farmers was kind of slacking, so they had to drive another hour or so up to the actual farm instead of the checkpoint to get the produce and go to a couple of other different farms. And so they were late, so when I showed up, they just weren't there yet. Glad I walked by, so I was able to see at least the remains of what was there. It was pretty cool. Again, pretty confirming of the sharing economy that's here. Reminded me of the farmer's market at Portland, just on a smaller scale, so it's cool to see that go down. I talked to Isaac. He gave us the scoop. He's doing a little pop-up right around the corner. Somewhere in here, he's cooking some amazing food. No, but really, Isaac was making some tortillas last night, gathered a bunch of goodies from all over the area, some delicious stuff. So we're gonna go sniff around, see what he's whipping up, sink our teeth into some yummy, plant-based, locally sourced deliciousness. Let's see what we got.
You guys gonna hang out here and eat?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's made with sun-dried tomato, onions, other vegetables, vital wheat gluten, spices. It's like a seitan sausage.
Ooh, let's go proper Whopper.
Yeah, Papa Whopper's a safe bet.
Right on. So, challenge for today. It's gonna be a fun one. Take a photo of your food, because you already do half the time, and at the end of the day, just reflect on all of those foods, and then just think about if they were foods that gave you life, or if they were foods that took life from you. And that's just a good way to bring awareness to the different foods we eat. So snap a photo of the foods you eat today, and reflect on that food. And maybe you can start to think of ways to incorporate better foods for you. However that looks like for you. Listen to you. You know best.
What are these? They're little models of food. Oh, hello.
Hi there.
We have a guest star.
Oh, what are you doing?
Enjoy the day.
Yeah, you too.
So, break down everything. This rock, this plant, this body, everything is made of atoms. Break that down into particles. Break that down into nothing. Wavelengths. Everything is made of vibrations, wavelengths. That's science, that's proven, and it blows my mind. I still can't even wrap my mind around it. But there's some cool things we can extrapolate from that, especially when it comes down to food, because all the food we eat, down to the core of it, like everything else, is made up of wavelengths. Energy, everything is energy, is what it is. And so when we eat foods that are alkaline rich, it is very easy for our body to process and get energy from these foods, because it doesn't take much to break down these foods. And when we eat foods that are acid forming in our body, it leaves behind an ash residue that is kind of toxic to our body. First of all, it takes a lot of energy to digest these denser vibrational things than these not so dense vibrational things. And it can either give us energy or take away energy. Depending on your body type, some people process acid, alkaline foods a little differently, and that's why the science isn't conclusive yet. That's just, is what it is. I was surprised. I went into this session thinking I was gonna find all of the science to tell us why we should always eat alkaline foods and not acid foods. But to be honest, it's still inconclusive. But we do know that acid forming foods, they take more to digest, and they don't necessarily have better or more nutrients in them. Usually the opposite is true. And alkaline forming foods usually are very, very rich in vitamins, minerals, and it's not hard on our body. Keep scrolling down, and I've listed out all of the acid kind of food groups and the alkaline food groups, and I would just see what works. See what works for you. Maybe try being aware of one day where you're eating just a lot of alkaline veggies, beans, nuts. Some nuts are acid based, but see, there's a great example that not all acid foods are bad. Coffee, that's acid. Drink it every morning. Just something to be aware of, since that is today's intention. I am nutritious. That's a really good lens to go into food with, is just the density of the food. Is it alkaline? Is it acid? How does this fuel my body, or how does it make me feel heavier? So that's the intention for today. Something to be aware of as you eat your foods.
So this morning I ran into a friend who I swear is just an angel. And she started talking about nutrition and how she's been studying it for much longer than me. She knows much more about it than me, and just made me realize again how important it is for each of us to find what works for us. It keeps going back to that. Even when it comes to something like alkaline and acidic foods, there are different blood types where some people can handle acid foods a little more than others. And so again, we just got to experiment and listen and eat what you want. That's what it comes down to. But think about if it's what you really want, right? If we reach for convenient junk food, it might feel like it's what we want because it tastes real good, but is it worth your health in the long run?
Because your food is either giving you life or it's taking your life. That's the truth of it.